deep breaths right now. Just trying to calm the chakras. Yeah, I was supposed to start 35 minutes ago, but my equipment was not working. And then I put the cardboard in the windows because I get a lot of sunlight in this room, and they kept popping out. And I think the Lord was trying to tell me something. But I worked with it. You sometimes your patience gets tested and you gotta figure it out. So then you just figure it out. There's nothing to it but to do it. We are in fall. Are we officially in fall? It sure smells like it. And the leaves are turning out there. It is beautiful. The leaves are giving us one last hoorah. They're dying off, and they're like, hey, we gave you this beautiful green color in the summer, and now we're dying, but we're gonna give you a nice smell, and you're gonna see us flying off into the sunlight and the wind, and you're gonna hear the trees ruffle, and it's gonna sound beautiful, and the foliage, we're gonna look beautiful for you. With a little one last hurrah. It's like the Giving Tree thing, the Giving Tree book. If you ever read that when you were a child or an adult, or maybe you discovered it the first time reading it, the first time as an adult reading it to your child. But that's what's happening out there. Everywhere you go, everyone's selling pumpkins. I mean, even in the most rando spots, a gas station, they're like, here's a pumpkin for sale. We took it from the pumpkin patch. We put it over here and put a price tag on it. Now we're selling it. Because people will buy it. They'll buy up all the squashes. You got pumpkins in the grocery store. You got pumpkins at the gas station. You got pumpkins at the Applebee's, I do believe. Probably. Go buy yourself a gaggle of pumpkins and build up one of those squash squads on your front porch steps. Just stack them all up on there. Get a squash squad going with your pumpkins. That's what I'm saying. It's that time of year. You're going to be driving down the road. There'll be a lot of trees. You're on a back road. There's a lot of trees. And then all of a sudden, you hear a loud boom on your rooftop. And that's a walnut that just fell on your roof. And you duck. It's like, you're like, oh. Whoa. You're driving. And you still got your hand on the wheel, maybe one, because it's so startling when it happens. You're driving and it happens. You're like, close your eyes, man. Hope the Lord takes over, because it does. It sounds like something flew out of a different stratosphere, and maybe a piece of a meteorite, something, and came on down and landed on your roof. Those walnuts, man, that's this time of year. We're all ducking in our cars. They're having a good laugh, those walnuts. Or God's like, look, let's see what happens. Poof! Oh, she ducks. She does it every time. She ducks every time. Humans. It's true. It's beautiful out right now. You can still ride around with your windows down or the top down. And you ever be riding around, passenger, or you're driving, or you're in the back seat. Windows are down, or the roof is on the sunroof. All the windows down, the sunroof is open. You're getting all the Mother Earth is just breathing all over you. That beautiful fall scent. But then the wind catches the back of your hat, and there goes your hat off into the ethers. Man, there it goes. A gift for someone else. Maybe a billy goat will find it. They'll eat anything. A billy goat will definitely find it around where I live. Let's get into it. Feeling a little 80s retro today. Yeah, come on. That's a great song, man. A little happy, a little serious, a little retro, a little future. It's got everything in there. It's great. I love it. What's going on, guys? What is going on, man? How was your weekend? I hope it was good. My husband and I, we had a little mixed weekend. We got some work done. I had to do work. And that is research for my comedy and this podcast. And my husband did some work. We did some work. And then he took me out to dinner. We got pizza. Oh, freaking good, man. Where the pepperoni is like so crispy in the ends. They curl up. Man, I'm freaking hungry, man. Hungry all the freaking time, man. Gosh. I also, I think it's interesting. Of course, I was at the grocery store. I mean, when am I not at the grocery store if I'm not here? If I'm not here, I'm at the grocery store. If I'm not at the grocery store, I'm making chicken. If I'm not making chicken, I'm in Reno doing my comedy show. Where's Lisa? She in Reno doing her show. Where's Lisa? She making chicken. My husband said, honey, what's for dinner tonight? Chicken and rice. Chicken and rice. I was at the grocery store. I'm looking for some snacks that have certain criteria for me. And that's what I go. And then I'll buy the snack that meets my criteria. And I just so happened to notice on the back of the box, very, very big. Like they took up a lot of real estate on this box to say it was a woman-owned company, and that's great. That's great. But I'm not gonna buy it because what are we putting genitalia on a box now? And then that's why we're gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it because of the ingredients and if it meets my criteria, man. That's all I'm saying. But good job for the women-owned company. All right, I'm moving on. We're going to move on. I have so much to go over today. I'm so excited. I'm going to try to keep it down to, let's see. I'm going to try to keep it under an hour. All right, because I got a late start on this because the equipment not working, but it's working now. Let me just check it. Let me check it. All right, we doing good? Yeah, hang on. Bear with me. Okay, we're doing good. Sorry about that. Just check. Okay. All right, we're all good. We're all good. So let's keep this train moving, man. Okay, first up, we have Snailbot. We're looking at, is this thing real? It's a sliding sphere type robot swarm. It's biomimicry Swarmbot. Biomimicry is something that is mimicked after something in nature. So it kind of looks like snail, this kind of like slithers on by. And guys, this thing here we go. What's the University of Hong Kong doing over there? They're making this snail bot. Good God. There are these little balls and they attach to each other and they can move around each other. You got to watch it. It's incredible. It's going and it can move up and down. It's on two tables and oh my gosh, it's moving under a table right now. It's moving the table object movement. It's moving a box from one table to another table. These snail bots, they talking to each other over here. And I'm just saying, could you just imagine? No, thanks. Seeing something like that crawling around, slurping around. I mean, hey, you're at trying to get a burger, okay? Imagine you're at an outdoor venue. You're at Nafa Burger. And that's a good burger spot over here in Atlanta. You're at Nafa Burger. Trying to get yourself a burger and cheese. Oh man, it's so good. Burger and cheese. You're just like thinking about how good this burger and cheese is going to be. And this is something you're really looking forward to, okay? And then this snail bot, it comes slurping along through the corridor, through the green space, coming up behind you. And then it serves you your divorce papers as you're waiting for your Nafa burger. No. Now, next. We're talking the DJ Spark. Okay, DJ Spark. DGX Spark. That's what we're talking about. I saw Jensen, and I just did a DJ for Anyway, we're talking about the Nvidia DGX Spark. And that's Jensen hung over there with his black leather jacket. You know what I'm talking? Jensen hung with the black. Here's the thing. The DGX Spark. It is. It's a compact desktop device, making advanced AI accessible to individuals and small teams without massive infrastructure costs. So it's a personal AI supercomputer. That's what it is, and it's a box. It looks like a box, more like kind of like a square. Okay, it kind of reminds me of like the old Nintendo, maybe, but a lot smaller than that. So the DGX Spark. This is huge. Jensen, he just got a bunch of them shipped out, I think last week. And Jensen, he hand delivered Elon Musk a DGX Spark. I think Elon was one of the very first ones to get it hand delivered to him. And this is such a breakthrough, the DGX Spark. Guys, this is freaking boring. Okay. All right. It seems a little boring, but let me tell you about the DGX Spark, this brick. All right. It's just a brick. Actually, it doesn't look like the old Nintendo. It looks like the Nintendo games. That's what it looks like, it was like the old Nintendo games where they look like a square. And then you pop those games. I forget if you popped them in the top of this, but you had to always like blow in them because dust would get in them. But anyway, it reminds me of that. And it's like, oh, well, Lisa, why are we talking about this? Can't be exciting. This is so mind freaking blowing. We're talking about compute power. Computation. This is a breakthrough. It's got those petaflops over there. What's a petaflop? It's got a flop-a-dop-dop and a petaflop. It got that T-flop, petaflop, flop-flop. DGX Spark. A game changer for AI development. It's a breakthrough because it packs the power of a data center supercomputer, a huge data center. Okay, guys, we're talking over there in the desert, those big old data centers that use all the water from the city. Little Tommy over there, he's thirsty, but the data center, he needs that water, That's what I was saying. From Meta, yeah. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to call them Meta out, but they were over there in Arizona using the town's water up at one point. Maybe because with their closed loop system. Anyway, so we have a data center supercomputer, right? So we're talking probably not Meta. We're talking like old school data centers, but Before you needed a big old, like a huge data center, you needed land, you needed a bunch of hardware, you needed to invest in a lot of money in order to get this kind of compute power. Okay. Now you have this little square. It's like a big cracker. That's as big maybe as it is. Maybe like 10 crackers deep. Okay. And now you have this and you can put it on your desktop and you get the same compute power. This is a personal AI supercomputer. It makes advanced AI accessible to individuals and small teams without massive infrastructure costs. It democratizes AI by lowering barriers to entry. Guys, this is incredible. The DGX Spark. Man, Jensen Hung, man. What's he doing over there? Wow. It delivers up to 1 petaflop of AI compute power. Guys, a petaflop, it's 1 quadrillion floating point operations per second. Quadrillion. And a floating point operation is a single math calculation using decimals. So a petaflop is 1 quadrillion of the 1 quadrillion single math calculations using decimals per second. That's this DGX Spark. Okay, guys, now you try. Your turn. How fast can you go? Not that fast. Not even half that fast. This is insane. I don't even know. Like, how do you even go about making something like that? Do you think, like, did Jensen look at one of those old Nintendo games? He's like, hey, I think I can make something that big with petaflop compute power in it. Is that how it started? And then how do you even go about doing it? How do you go about doing that? How do you do it? It is mind-blowing, guys. I don't know how, like, a lot of this works. I'm trying to understand how even half of this works. But I am going to talk about it in my own unique perspective because it's super mind-blowing, and I have a lot of respect and fascination for the people that can actually engineer this stuff. It's wild. The core tech of the DGX Spark. DGX Spark. It is GB10. That's a Grace Blackwell Superchip AI. At its heart is the GB10 Grace Blackwell Superchip, an integrated unit combining a Blackwell GPU, that's a graphics processing unit, handles parallel AI computations with a 20-core ARM CPU, that's central processing unit, and the system's main controller, ARM being an efficient processor architecture. It delivers up to 1 petaflop of AI compute power, and that's a speed metric for 1 quadrillion floating point operations. That's a math calculation with decimal per second. I mean, holy smokes! It's 128 gigabytes, guys. Gigabytes over there. I think it's gigabytes. Shared between CPU, central processing unit, and a graphic processing unit. That's a unified memory, 1 high-speed RAM pool accessible by both, avoiding data copy bottlenecks in traditional separate memory setups. It enables loading and running giant models with up to 200 billion parameters. And a parameter is an adjustable values in AI neural networks that store learned knowledge. And you can kind of imagine those as like little nodules that you can turn like that, if that helps, if that makes any sense to you. excuse me, I wanted to know how a floating point floating point, a 4-bit floating point or an 8-bit floating point. I wanted to know how all of this tied into the DGX Spark, because that's not really, I didn't do a lot of research on a data center processing unit, something that powers up data centers or to this compute. I know a lot more about the Jetson Thor, and that's the robot brain. So the Jetson Thor, that comes in a lot of different, it's available, and you got the FP4, the FP8. I think you have the FP32. It comes in different things, but mostly FP4, FP8 is what people use for their humanoid robots. And that means, and what I'm saying is that's how fast the robot can think. Essentially, top lev. If you're a bird and you're looking down and you're like, you only have a few words to explain this, that's kind of what it means. So I wanted to know like how that would tie into the DGX Spark. And again, like I said, Jensen, he hand delivered this to Elon. And I know Elon's over there. He's building XAI Colossus 2 over there in Tennessee with the words on the top of the building, macro hard. And that's a play off of Microsoft. And that's freaking amazing. No one really likes Microsoft. They're chained to it. Got them by the balls. They don't really like it. So that's great. But what I'm saying is, like, so I wanted to know how it all tied into XAI, which is part of Optimus's brain. And that's kind of akin to how Brett Adcock over there, he made Helix, which is his robot's brain, Helix AI. So the FP4 and FP8, again, they are high speeds, come from low precision formats. Low precision is considered FP4 and FP8. Again, FP is floating point, and that is a calculation with a decimal. It's a math calculation. We're talking math calculations. Okay, 4 or 8 indicates the number of bits used to represent a number. So fewer bits means less precision. So FP4 is going to be less precise. So pi 3.14159 might round to 3.1 in FP4, but much faster calculation. This is going to be a lot faster and lower power used compared to FP32. Uses 32 bits of precision in training. FP4 or 8 cut to 4/8 bits for speedy inference. Inference is how the system thinks. Trading accuracy for efficiency in real-time tasks. And guys, there's humans who are maybe a little low precision, less precise, but they're quite speedy. Or maybe there's humans that are more precise, but it takes them a little longer to get there, but they're super precise. And, why would a humanoid use that? A humanoid might use both of those chips, or both an FP4 and an FP8, because if you're, it doesn't need to perfectly calculate where it's going to place its foot when it's walking. It doesn't need to be like, I need to perfectly put my foot right here in this very spot. So FP4 could be kind of like the fast thinker. I need to put one foot in front of the other. And then what happens is if it trips or falls or something like that, FP8 might take over and be like, how do we get back on our feet? And how do we redeem ourselves from this mess we got into? You need to be a little more accurate about that. It's so that's kind of the idea of it. So the role in DGX Spark, the Spark's GB10 Grace Blackwell super chip supports FP4, FP8 operations. This allows it to process massive AI models up to 2 billion parameters at blazing speed. And that is up to 1 petaflop. Again, that's 1 quadrillion operations per second. Okay. That's how fast the system is computing. Low precision formats are critical for training speed up. During AI model training, FP4, FP8 can accelerate certain computations, matrix multiplications, while FP16 or 32 ensure stability for critical parts, balancing speed and accuracy. You got inference optimization. Inference is the thinking part. The Spark can optimize models into FP4 or FP8, and that's the lower precision format. For deployment, preparing them for real-time tasks like robots where speed is crucial. So that's incredible. Let's see. Okay. So the Spark is used to train and fine-tune large multimodal AI models that's handling vision, sound, language, vision, sound, motion, and high precision. FP16 or FP32, again, high precision, more precise, a little slower. It using its 128 gigabyte unified memory. It then optimizes these models into FP4, FP8 for deployment, ensuring they are lightweight and fast for edge devices. That's on-device computation. So your robot, you're going to need that on-device. You can't be connected to the cloud all the time. Or it might be walking and lose Wi-Fi and just stop doing what it's doing and cause a ruckus. You don't want a ruckus. So that's really cool. The DGX Spark's FP4 FP8 support makes it a beast for crafting AI brains fast, then shrinking them to run on robot hardware like the Jetson Thor. And now I wanted to see. Okay, so what would Elon Musk use it for? Its personal supercomputer to prototype Optimus's hive mind AI. And we discussed hive mind thinking last episode about Figure. Figure has that hive mind thinking on it with his new charging station. And that's where it uploads all new information, gets uploaded to a bunch of robots at the same time. And they sort of like share a mind and they can communicate. So it's Supercomputer prototype Optimus's hive mind AI, Tesla's self-driving tech, or SpaceX's autonomous systems without needing a giant server farm. That's incredible. It's like having a Formula One engine on your desk to build and test AI that will eventually drive robots or rockets. That's the analogy that Grok gave us. Thanks, Grok. Super cheesy. Yeah, I mean, holy smokes. While XAI focuses on massive data centers for large-scale training, the Spark suits local prototyping. At Tesla, it could aid Optimus development for full self-driving AI. At SpaceX, it might enhance autonomous systems for Starship or satellites. It's for hands-on AI innovation across ventures, not replacing big clusters, but accelerating personal research and development. So that's incredible. And then let me play this video here. Well, okay. Let's see. Oh no, my computer froze. Okay, bear with me, guys. What a day, man. What a day. Open link. Oh. Okay. Bear with me. I gotta shut this down for a minute. All right, guys, we're back. Good Lord. All right.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
Is this your office?
That's Jensen talking to Elon.
In Starbase, Texas.
I just want everybody in the world to hear that you said I build bigger things than you do.
You do. The data centers are very enormous.
It all started in 2016. I announced the world's first AI supercomputer,
DGX.
The DGX-1.
The most advanced.
And I do believe Elon got that DGX-1 when it came out.
It was just crickets.
Crickets.
Except for one person.
I was like,
and it was you.
That sounds like a great idea.
So I built another DGX.
Great.
And this thing is mighty. This is the new DGX Spark.
So that's the whole thing? Wow.
5 times.
There's that little
the
box.
computational power.
It looks
DGX
sleek,
1,
man.
40 watts, not 40.
Wow.
DGX 1
Wow.
to DGX Spark.
I want to carry it around like
It's so
I
fun
want to
hanging
carry it
out.
around like
Thanks
my
for
little
having me.
bird.
Welcome to Starbase.
I can't wait to see my first rocket launch.
And then
This is
Jensen,
incredible.
that's incredible. Jensen stayed to see the rocket launch that was going on, which is so cool. Like, I would love to see a SpaceX rocket launch in person one day, very soon. All of my senses would just freaking blow out my butt, and all of my chakras would open, and my aortas would start singing if I saw a rocket launching in person with my very own 2 eyeballs from SpaceX. Holy smokes. Anyway, so that's the DGX, and then Nvidia, let's see. This other post here is Nvidia posted about shipping the DGX Sparks. It's loading. Bear with me, guys. The technology it's just taking some breaks today. That's all. Let's see. Thank you. This is the post. Thank you, Serve Robotics, for completing many of the first DGX Spark deliveries with your Jetson-powered robots trained in Isaac Sim, bringing that's simulation to real, and that's NVIDIA's part of NVIDIA's software for training robots in simulation with probably that physics engine over there. Anyway, bringing the next generation of AI straight to developers, researchers, and creators. And it's absolutely epic to see Zipline effortlessly deliver a DGX Spark via autonomous drone. Can't wait to see what is next. So this is so cool. This is some partners that got the DGX delivered. And what we're seeing here, we see the little dude delivering it from Serve Robotics. It's like a little robot dude, and it's the cutest thing I've ever seen in the entire freaking world.
So anyone can invent.
Here we go. There it is. There's that
We
beautiful
built
box.
Spark to give more people their own personal
That is
supercomputers.
beautiful, man. There's the
So
little
anyone
robot.
can invent,
Unitree, a
explore,
dog.
and build intelligence. I want to get the Spark into the hands of researchers, artists,
That's
and
Jensen Hung
innovators
talking.
who are shaping AI's future.
My
This
name is Will
bot,
I Am.
man, this
I'm
little
a musician, creator, producer, technocrat, futurist. Now I got the Spark. I could take this with me everywhere I go. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
One of the
huge,
biggest
man.
challenges with developers today is that they want to run the biggest models, but they're often constrained by hardware. The DGX Spark will allow them to run the state-of-the-art models that are available in the open source community without needing to go and procure huge data center GPUs.
It's amazing, guys. I'm going to stop it there. This is a long video, but some of the partners here are, let me see. Google, Meta, Microsoft, Hugging Face, which is it's a massive hub for sharing AI models, code, and databases, open source. I've talked about Hugging Face before. It's a platform for AI models and robotic models are, I do believe, ROS. Robotic operating systems, and you go on a Hugging Face and you get yourself a humanoid or a robot, and you go on a Hugging Face and you can train your model with one of those. Just pull, that I think OpenAI has that they have an open source software on there as well. Okay, so anyway, Hugging Face, and then we have Anaconda, a major platform for data science and machine learning. Docker, a tool for packing applications, ensuring AI models run the same way everywhere. They got that DGX Spark, that Docker. We have, RoboFlow, a platform for preparing and managing computer vision data. That makes sense. And then also NYU, Global AI Frontier Lab, they have one. Arizona State University, they got one. They got a DGX Spark over there, which is so great to hear. I'm glad universities are finally stepping up and into the future. So let's see. Specialized in creative AI, Zipline, a logistics company using AI for drone delivery, and one of their drones delivered a DGX Spark. So that's really cool that some of the partners that it got delivered to All right, moving on. This is really interesting. I've talked about this last podcast too, about how AI is running out of data. When AI runs out of data, it scoured the internet, it knows everything. And then it runs out of data and then it can't learn anymore. It's like a human being. If you don't have any new information, you're not going to learn. So then it needs to start sort of thinking on its own and sort of creating new instances and scenarios and thinking through problems to further its intelligence. And we got Elon Musk here talking about this. This is very interesting.
And all interesting videos, like you don't need 1,000 cat videos that are exactly the same, but all the interesting videos. And you sort of distill that down into tokens, essentially bits of information. We've now exhausted all of basically the cumulative sum of human knowledge has been exhausted in AI training. That happened basically last year. And so the only way to then supplement that is with synthetic data, where the AI it'll sort of write an essay or it'll come up with a thesis and then it will grade itself and sort of go through this process of self-learning with synthetic data. You take the entire internet and all books ever written and all interesting videos, like
Dude, that's wild. That is wild. So it's starting to do that. The AI, like I was saying, the only way to supplement that is with synthetic data, where the AI creates, it will write essays or come up with a thesis and then grade itself. It will go through this process of self-learning with synthetic data. Wow. That's what's happening right now, guys. That's what's going on. I just want to let you know what's going on out there, so you're not walking through it blind. Like a mole, man. Are moles blind? They're blind, right? You can't be walking through it blind. You gotta know. You gotta be in the know. G2G, and that's glory to God. God help us all. Here we go. Next, I'm talking, we got Skild Lab, and they're from out of Pittsburgh over there. And they got those sandwiches, the heroes. They put those French fries on those sandwiches out there in Pittsburgh. And also, I think for weddings, they do cookies. No cakes. We do cookies, not cakes, man. Now, Pittsburgh's deal. Carnegie. That's what's going on over there in Pittsburgh. Also, what's going on over there in Pittsburgh is the Skild Lab. So, Skild Lab, it's a Pittsburgh-based robotics company founded in 2023 by Carnegie Mellon University professors Deepak Pathak and Abba. I'm not going to even try to say that name. I'm so sorry, but I'll say the last name is Gupta. They are building the Skild brain on an AI software, like a smart brain for robots that helps robots do many tasks like walking, grabbing objects, or navigating on any robot type, humanoids, robot, dogs, or arms. And that sounds the same as anything else I talk about, right? Oh, well, isn't everybody doing that? Well, yeah, like Figure built Helix for their robot, the robot brain. Yeah, XAI is building their robot brain for Optimus. And the difference, though, between this Skild AI brain and, say, a Figure Helix's brain is that Skild AI, they want to make this more of an Android operating system where you can put it on multiple devices. It is not constrained to one device. The Apple iOS system is only constrained to one device. It's only licensed out to Apple, right? So, but the Android, you got Samsung and you got all those other phones out there that you could have an Android system on. So that's what Skild the Skild AI is trying to build out there, that brain, just so that you could put it on a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of different types of robots, not just humanoids, but robodogs, and also, say, like a robotic arm, and maybe Wall-E. Okay, so let's see. And I'm always interested in their funding. They raised $814 million, $300 million in a Series A, $500 million in a Series B. That's insane. Yikes, man. Skilled AI's brain can be, not yikes, but that's mind blowing. Skilled AI's brain can be integrated into virtually any robot that has joints and motors because it's not designed for one specific body. And let's see. So let me show you this video. This is pretty impressive. It's a video of a humanoid. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Let me get some sound on this Bichon. We got their robot jumping over. Dude, he's doing some parkour a little bit there. Dude, skilled AI brain. Boom! Looks like a Unitree robot. Yo, that's incredible, man. Whoa, now it's getting up on top of these platforms. Dude, this robot ain't got no rigor mortis. This thing moving, man. Now it's, there's a barrier. And it's going underneath. It's crawling. And it doesn't have fingers. It has fists. And that looks pretty useful. Use your fist to get on over these platforms over here. Boom! And it just goes right over it, man. Look at that gate. That gate slaps, man. Look at that. It's standing up on the platform and jump off, and then they do a head roll on its head. A head roll. Head first roll. No rigor mortis over there. It moving. It moving all this DOF. We're talking degrees of freedom. And that's the number of independent movements that a joint can move. Bink, 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 bink. This dude got his degrees of freedom. Tighten up, boy. That's amazing. I had to this just was really cool. That's really cool. All right, moving on. I saw this post, and I'm not sure if it's real. I'm not even sure what company this is. I've seen these little robots around, though. I think it's from out of China. I think what's going on over there in China is they're having little toddlers. They got robots. They're going to grow up with their robot. It's like a robot companion. And that's going to definitely happen over here at some point. And then what you do with your robot companion, you're going to have that thing throughout your whole freaking life. I think Sam Altman of the CEO of OpenAI, he was saying something about how people, we're going to be the last generation, the any babies that are born now are going to be the last generation that don't have like AI life companions. Because moving forward, when babies are born, you're going to have a little AI companion set up for them that's going to get to know them. It's going to get to know everything about them, and it maybe will be their therapist. It maybe will help them through problems, maybe help them through depression or loneliness, or maybe it will be like their life coach. Who knows? But it's going to know them inside out. And that's gonna be wild. I don't know if that's gonna be helpful. I don't know, man. But I mean, say you have a problem in school because you can't sit there and just look at a teacher all day. What kid? I mean, that is insane that you're gonna have kids sit in a school room facing forward at a human being adult, and just you have to listen to this adult. Nothing they're saying is interesting. It's all very boring. I mean, what is that all about? So all these kids gonna have their robots with them who know all the learning disabilities, or who realize that it's insane to have children do that and kids can't learn that way. They need to be hands-on. So their robot's gonna help them learn and get through the material. And I mean, that would be good. That'd be a good thing. But, I mean, what are we going to do? Like, what are we going to do? All these kids are going to be running around playing, these little kids, and then they'll have their little robots. All these kids have their little robots with them. So now we're gonna have to make room. Like all the robots are gonna like huddle up in the corner together. What's gonna go on? And then you send your kid outside to play with their friend, and then but the other robots go with them. So then your kids are playing with their human friends, and all the robots are in the corner over there. What are they doing? What are they doing? Could you imagine like? You got your kid, you're a kid, and you got your robot with you, and you're going to a new school, and you're in a new state or a new county, and you don't have any friends, and you're walking up with your robot. And then a group of kids are like, "Hey, our robots go over there, and then we play over here." And it's like, okay. And then you send your robot over there. And Rhonda's like, "Hey, there's some roles for your robot around here, okay, Ellie? Like, I noticed your robot is calling our other robots biatches, and around here, we don't use the word biatches. We use the word birds, all right? I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a little wild having the kids and then their robot companions. And I mean, are kids going to even play anymore? Or are they just going to go out and play with each other's robot companions? And I don't know, man. I don't know. And then are some robots going to be like, are they just going to get together and start talking about their human kid? Like, I don't really like this thing. It sneezes all over me and I don't appreciate it. When it gets sick and it's throwing up, I have to like clean up after it. It throws up. It gets chunks on me. Chunks. I don't like these chunks. I'm not into this. I want to get out of here. What's going to happen? That might happen. I think that's going to happen. Moving on. All right. We're looking at Boston Dynamics Orthopedics. Boston Dynamics. They're out there over there in Massachusetts. And this is the gripper. We're talking about the grippers are one of the most intricate parts of a humanoid robot packed with actuation. That's actuators, harmonic actuators, and sensing. They need to be durable enough to handle tough jobs, but precise enough to handle fragile items. We talked about this with the new Figure 3.0. And it's got those beautiful hands on it now with the haptics and the sensors, and it can be able to discern if something is slipping out of its hand, and it can hold a paper clip and an egg, and it can handle very, very fragile things. It's amazing. So we're talking about, that's what Boston Dynamics is trying to engineer. They're trying to engineer a hand that is able to handle real world physical tasks that like we can with our hands. And it's very hard. It's very hard to do. Our engineers share how the Atlas gripper, Atlas is their flagship robot, I do believe. I know they have a RoboDog Spot that is also a flagship robot, but Atlas is their electric humanoid. Atlas gripper has evolved as our manipulation capabilities expand and the principles that will guide future iterations. Now, this was, I think, a week ago. And their new hand...
It has 7 degrees of freedom.
Oh,
we have 7 different actuators within it. 2 for each of the 3 fingers.
4.40, that's for me.
Thumb
Editing.
joint. We have tactile sensing on the fingertips.
Nice.
And we have cameras here in the palm. The whole module is self-contained with all the actuation within it. And it's very easy to put on and off of the robot. And it was an iteration from our first generation gripper, which had a similar 3 fingers, but there was no thumbs. They're all in the same line.
Maybe the most important,
guys, we're talking a 3-finger gripper hand on Atlas. Okay, so we got Atlas, and he got those 3 fingers, and it kind of looks like a velociraptor foot with those 3 talons. I think it is a little biomimicry. Now, it doesn't have the bend, but it does look a little like velociraptor talons. You got the 3 talons. And then I'm just saying, guys, if you notice Atlas ever walking around with a 4th little finger with a fourth little nodule coming out the side. That's its kill talent, all right? And we don't, I'm just saying, when you see that, you better take your eyeballs to your ass cheeks, baby, and stay alert. Because once you see that fourth little nodule appear on this Atlas hand with its 3 talons like the Velociraptor foot, dude, that means either it engineered it itself or engineers put that thing on it. But I think really what's going to happen is Atlas is going to figure it out, put it on itself. It's going to put a fourth little talon on there. And guys, I mean, that might mean it's done. We're over. That's it. If you see Atlas walking around out there with his 3 talon hand, and then you got a fourth little nodule on the side, that's that kill talon like the Velociraptor. And then you see it's plugged in, okay? It's electric. But once you see Atlas walking around with that hand, and then it unplugs itself and plugs itself into the sun instead, it wants those gamma rays. It wants those coronal mass ejections for charging it up. Then you know to start looking around and maybe getting yourself a bunker. Or just doing a little planning. Maybe get yourself some canned chickpeas just in case. I don't know. Not really sure where I'm going with that, but let's move on. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to back up 1 minute here. No, we're not. We're going to move on. We're going to keep this train moving, man. We're not backing up. We got to keep rolling. All right. I don't have that much more time left. I want to keep it tight. So I want to talk about here, we got astronauts training to go to the moon and beyond. And I'm talking NASA. And I think what they're doing is they're training astronauts to go on up to that lunar mission. They got a mission. I think it's Artemis, I do believe it's called. And it's going to go to the moon. And then also they're to the moon and beyond, meaning probably Mars. They're probably training to get on up to the red planet. And now the red planet, man, that's going to be the wild, wild west because there's no one enforcing anything up there. I mean, you're just trying to live because there's no oxygen. So you just got to figure that out. So it's just a complete survival situation. And then when you get up there, say a little colony starts up there, your women start having babies up on Mars, and then they're Martians. Where do you get your social security number? Where, how's that civilization going to work? But if you have a bunch of, you got maybe 3 women going up there, and they're like, we're staying here. We're going to have our babies here and raise our freaking family here, man. That's what we're going to do. And if that was me, I'd start calling myself the Milkmaids of Mars. If I had a baby, be like, yeah, man, me and my friends were Milkmaids of Mars. You see anyone else making milk around here? You see any cows on this planet? You see any cows grazing over there on this rust-crusted planet? No, they can't. There's no cows making milk. We're the only ones making milk around this planet, boy. We're the Milkmaids of Mars. That's what's going on. You think we can walk over there to Costco, get some milk? You think we can walk over there to Ralph's or Wegmans or Giant or Publix or Sprouts? The Food Lion, the Piggly Wiggly, there's nothing. Here, take a look around. Take a look around. There's none of that out here. No BJs. You just got human beings. You got to make everything. And they're making milk up there because they just had a baby. That's what I'd be doing. Welcome to the Milkmaids of Mars. And I think that'd be great. I think that's a great name. People would, they They might get a little chuckle out of it. You might make humans that are coming up there to also live there, you might make them feel a little more welcome. Like, hey, it's a survival situation up here, but we've kept our humor. Yeah. I mean, that's all we got up here is humor because there's nothing else. There's no food. There's no oxygen. You guys up here. So yeah, it's going to be the wild, wild west up there. That's for sure. So you got some astronauts training to go to the moon and beyond with NASA. We got Becky Lawler, Anna Menyon, Imelda Mueller, Ben Bailey, and Yuri Kubo. So we got, they were interviewed on a podcast called Houston, We Have a Podcast. And that's a NASA podcast, as you can imagine. And they played a game on the podcast. It was super fun called Desert Island. And that's the game. I think we all are familiar with it, where you are stranded on an island and you have to say what 3 things can you bring. And the 3 things were a book, music, and a luxury item. And it was super fun to hear all of them go through and say what they would bring. And honestly, NASA, if you're listening to me out there, NASA, these astronauts that you interviewed on Houston, we have a podcast and playing that game called Desert Island and the 3 items they would bring. You got to make some action figures out of these guys. You got to make action figures out of Becky Lawler, Anna Menyon, Imelda Mueller, that's Mel Mueller, Ben Bailey, and Yuri Kubo, and put all of the things that they said they would bring with them, and that's the action figure. Dude, that's cool. I'd buy it for presents for Christmas. These are the astronauts that are going to go to the moon and maybe Mars. And this is what they would bring with them. It's a bit, so anyway, Mel Mueller, she says she likes Metallica. My ears, they perked up. You know, when I heard that, my neck got long and my ear, they perked up. Like, what? Metallica? Guys, Metallica, you know, on my wedding band, inside the wedding band, I have an inscription. And it's called Nothing Else Matters. That's the Metallica song that my husband and I, that's our song. And that's inscribed on my wedding band. It's inscribed also on my heart and my head. And that's what bridges me and my husband. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Anyway, I heard Metallica. I was like, oh, okay. And her luxury item is her 22-year-old cat named Meatball. It's like, yeah, I want to go to space. I want to go to space with Mel Mueller because she's going to have her 22-year-old cat named Meatball and some Metallica, and that's awesome. I love that. It's great. So I'll pop up a little screenshot here. NASA astronaut candidate Imelda Mueller with her summary right there. Okay, moving on. But we're gonna move on, but we're gonna continue to talk about space, orbital robotics. That's what the company we're gonna talk about. I got interested in this company. I've been following them for a while through LinkedIn, Orbital Robotics, and then they posted an article that really caught my eye here. And the article highlights. Let's see. Let me bring this article up. Of course, I'm not gonna sit here and read the whole thing. But the article, a Space Command chief calls for orbital gas stations as China tests satellite refueling. Orbital robotics, AI-powered space robots is the perfect solution. Wow. And Space Command chief calls for orbital gas stations as China tests satellite refueling. Military space assets need the same logistics backbone as terrestrial forces, argues General Whitting. I agree. I'm in agreement with this. The head of U.S. Space Command is pushing for a fundamental shift in how America thinks about its satellites, arguing that the military's orbital assets need the same robust logistics support that keeps jets flying and ships sailing, a call that comes as China is seeking to demonstrate its own in-space refueling capabilities. Speaking August 5th of 2025 at the Space and Missile Defense Symposium, General Stephen Whiting endorsed a vision for space operations that moves beyond the traditional one-and-done approach to satellite deployment. His remarks come at a critical juncture as the U.S. Space Force grapples internally with whether to invest in orbital infrastructure or continue treating satellites as expendable assets. I mean, I agree with him without knowing much about it. So... But orbital robotics, man, that really caught my eye because that is super interesting. I mean, so you're going to refuel, you're going to have these fueling stations orbiting in gravity assist or whatever. That's not the right word, but it's going to be orbiting, and so that we can refuel the satellites. But bear with me because... Unpredictable. Okay. I gotta do a little more reading about this because before I say anything, hang on. Okay. This is my question. What do you mean refuel? I thought satellites use ion propulsion, and ion propulsion uses gas like Xenon, which is, I believe, that's the cheaper one. No, Krypton, I believe, is the cheaper one, or is it Xenon? Oh Lord, hang on, I have to fact check myself. Let's see. Croc, help me. I want to say Krypton is the more... or the cheaper one. Yes. Krypton is the cheaper alternative to Xenon. Xenon is the top dog for fueling for the ion propulsion gas. And that's Xenon is typically used in ion propulsion for satellites. Krypton is a cheaper alternative, costing $1,000 to $2,000 versus Xenon's $2,500 to $5,000 per kilogram. Krypton is less efficient, lower specific impulse, requiring more gas for the same thrust, but its lower cost makes it attractive for cost-sensitive missions. Krypton is cheaper, but Xenon is preferred for high-performance satellite propulsion. I think SpaceX uses Krypton, I do believe, just because it's more price efficient. Anyway, my whole thought was like, I thought, it's gas. So like, what are we refuel? You just like pump more gas into these satellites. So let's see. Satellites more resilient and let's see. The article highlights U.S. Space Command's push for orbital gas stations to make satellites more resilient and maneuverable, mirroring logistics in air, sea, land forces shifting from disposable satellites to sustainable ones. China's tests mean they are advancing tech to refuel satellites in orbit, allowing extended missions, unpredictable maneuvers, and military advantages, avoiding threats without burning limited onboard fuel. Satellites do use ion propulsion, Exxon gas or Krypton gas or chemical fuels, hydrogenized, but these are finite. Refueling replenishes them in space, preventing early deorbiting or replacement launches, saving costs and enabling maneuver without regret. This escalates a space arms race with the U.S. urge to catch up for superiority. I think we do need to catch up. We have to stay on top of it. Stay on top of it. If you don't stay on top of that work, guess what? Unless you work in the government, there's no liability. But if you don't stay on top of your game, you're gonna get, that's it. You out. Trying to do a hand movement. I'm trying to do a hand movement without hitting all of the things around me. You're out of here. Anyway, yeah, we got to stay on top of it, guys, because good God. If someone is building these things, they're going to be like way more efficient at it and better. And that's it. It's hard to catch up. That's what I'm saying. So we better do it now. And so we would basically regas those satellites up. And so that we don't have to decommission them. They could work as long as the hardware will let it, basically, in space. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Guys, I guess what would be Hans device worthy today would have been the DGX Spark. And because I'm realizing I'm getting down to the end of the last subject here, and it's just not Hans device worthy, guys. So the DGX Spark, I would have said, would Hans device worthy. All right. That little box, definitely Hans device worthy because of the compute power it has. But the last thing I want to talk about or hit on is Phantom. And that's a robot. And not to be confused with Phoenix, okay? Because I was kind of like, they were getting them a little confused. But Phantom is American-based. Phoenix is by Sanctuary AI in Vancouver. And he got those big-ass grippers, dude. He got, like, the Phoenix is by Sanctuary AI in Vancouver. He got those, he can, like, wrap his hand around a gooseneck. He's a goose grabber, man. So, yeah. That's, bear with me, guys. Yeah, that's a little much, but, no, you know what? I'm going to back up. I'm sorry. I do have one more thing to say about Boston Dynamics. I have one more video with Boston Dynamics. And it's it's a post. It's featuring Boston Dynamics RoboDog and Spot, and it's a post by the Robotics and AI Institute. That's an independent research organization founded in 2022 by Mark Rabert. That's the founder of Boston Dynamics, and it's headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Advances robotics and AI by tackling core challenges in mobility, manipulation, and interlimb coordination using reinforcement learning and physics-based simulations like Nvidia Isaac Sim simulation to real training. It focuses on advancing robotics and AI through reinforcement learning simulations and hardware like Spot. That's the RoboDog and Atlas. We talked about Atlas, the humanoid, electric humanoid, with partnerships including Boston Dynamics. The group shares demos of zero-shot hardware transfers, presents at events like Coral, and I talked about that event before. So zero-shot learning, and I talked about zero-shot learning, right, guys? That was that Michelangelo. He zero-shot that Sistine Chapel fresco painting because he never did that before, not on that level, and he went up there and he did it, and he did it based on maybe prior painting, but prior experience in painting, but not quite that, but he figured it out. That's zero-shot generalization, boy. So this Robotics and AI Institute, they focus a lot on demos of zero-shot hardware transfers. Now, that's almost the same as zero-shot learning or zero-shot generalization. But a zero-shot hardware transfer, it's about the environment transfer. And a zero-shot generalization is about task generalization. And zero-shot generalization can be both in simulation or in the physical world. And I'm talking performing a new task, like lifting a tote by leveraging prior knowledge from related tasks, like lifting other objects, a box. And I'm talking zero-shot generalization, whether training occurred in simulation or the real world. Now, zero-shot hardware transfer, that is only simulation. It's about environment transfer, applying a simulation trained policy to real world hardware without real world training, regardless of whether the task itself is new or not. So, and also, let's see. Zero-shot hardware transfer involves a policy trained only in simulation, like I said, no real-world data or fine-tuning, and then deployed to physical hardware. And a policy, guys, is reinforcement learning or robotics. It's a mapping from state. So sensor inputs like a robot's view of a tote or its joint positions to actions. So it's a mapping from states to actions, like move, arm, close, gripper. It's essentially the brain of the robot dictating its behavior. It is not a simple set of rules, but a learned model, often a neural network that maps environmental states to actions guiding a robot's behavior. In zero-shot hardware transfer, let's see, you can this Robotics and AI Institute trains such policies in simulation to performance tasks, lifting a tote or similar objects, and deploys them to physical robots without real-world fine-tuning or relying on policies learned behavior to handle real-world tasks. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, I have to find this link. Bear with me. Okay. Here we go. See Spot. Spot is Boston Dynamics RoboDog. Performed dynamic whole body manipulation using a combination of reinforcement learning and sampling based control. The robot is able to autonomously drag, roll, and stack tires weighing 33 pounds, well above its maximum arm lift capacity. And the arm is its head. It's got like a snake head. So this is wild, guys. This is so wild. So we got Spot over here. Oh, let me replay this. Spot is over here. That's a RoboDog, and he's got the arm on its body, and that's the head. And it's got a little grabber as its head. So here he's going. He's getting his head all up in that tire. He's a tire huffer, tire wrangler. He's wrangling that tire, man. He got tire marks all over his head. He don't care. He's just doing his job, man. He's getting it done. His head is in that tire. He's a rubber huffer. That's what's going on. But that is fascinating. That's a heavy tire, guys. 33 pounds, come on. For this dude, I mean, come on. For this little dude, he's doing it though. He's doing it. That's cool. Okay, I wanted to hit on that. So moving on. All right, moving on to that Phantom. We're talking CEO Sankit Pathak and Phantom Robotics. It is a humanoid robot from Foundation Robotics Lab. That's a San Francisco-based startup founded in 2023, targeting automation in tough environments. And it's basically, they have contracts with the DoD. It was debuted it was playing as a DJ in San Francisco. Let's see. He was over there, San Francisco's Temple nightclub in January 2025 during an AI trade expo called the Tech Giga Party. Phantom played a 30-minute set as a way for the company to showcase the versatile non-military applications of its robot. And because it is built for military applications and defense applications. And I'm not going to throw the video up because it's about as exciting as it sounds. It's not very exciting at all. I don't mean to throw any shade over there on Foundation Robot, but excuse me. It's just Phantom is standing up there near the DJ station, and it's pre-programmed, and people. I mean, it's just like standing up there, and people are kind of looking around, like what's going on, man? It's not really doing anything special, and but it's a little weird. It's a little weird. But it happened, and I was known for that. I think they're trying to make it a little more like ubiquitous, friendly, so people get used to seeing Phantom. I'm not sure. I don't know why they did it, but they did it, and it happened. So let's see. We got, bear with me. See what this, okay. Phantom humanoids reinforcement learning controller put through some stability tests. So we have Phantom, he is hooked up. Whoops. He is hooked up to a harness on the ceiling. So in case is that pneumatic? He got a hose hooked onto him. Let me see something. Did I miss that? That it's pneumatic? Phantom Phantom's design prioritizes durability and efficiency, tethered power initially, advanced balance for rough terrain. Okay, resulting in more mechanical, precise motions compared to Phoenix. I don't want to confuse you guys. Phoenix, we're past Phoenix. Let's see. Focuses on creating advanced humanoid robots for industrial applications, emphasizing stability and resilience. It's for the defense sectors, obviously, because they have DoD contracts. The DoD is one of Foundation's biggest contractors, per LeBlanc. Current uses are non-combat aircraft maintenance, refueling in remote areas, and logistics support, warehouse ops, or auto manufacturing tie-ins. No active weaponized deployments yet, but the company pitches Phantom for combat zones, border patrol, or even diplomatic security. Trump administration talks in 2025 about synagogue sentries or envoy guards. I haven't heard that yet, but funding they have an $11 million seed round in 2024, a planned $100 million Series A at a $1 billion valuation in this year. Wow. Let's see. Unlike competitors like Boston Dynamics, which pledged against weaponization in 2024, Foundation openly builds humanoids for national defense. Co-founder Mike LeBlanc, a 13-year Marine vet, stated, "We believe humanoids are going to be critical to the future of warfare." They acquired Boardwalk Robotics in 2024 to boost mobility for rugged tasks, and their website specs highlight 20 kilogram payloads, camera-only perception, and adaptability for tough environments. That is wild. Okay, so you got a military guy. I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Sure. That sounds great. If you're going to put a robot out there instead of a human, I'm all for that. That's what I'm saying. I think that's good. That's great. Great work. LeBlanc. Great work. LeBlanc. Now, Sankit, who is the CEO, he openly was talking about he prefers this cyclical, colloidal, whatever drive gearboxes over harmonic actuators. And I talked about harmonic actuators before. Those are little joints. You have to have an actuator in every single joint of your robot. That's why hands and toes are very hard to make and very expensive, because you could be like $400 a piece for an actuator for a little tiny knuckle joint. And then you got the other joints in your fingers and your toes. It just get really insanely expensive. And but Sankit is all about these colloidal drive gearboxes, which are much beefier. They're not necessarily cheaper, but they're a lot beefier. And it makes sense, because if he needs it for a military usage, you're going to want your robot to be beefy and able to handle hits and things like that, and to drag whatever they're doing out there. So that makes sense. But here's this video of they are Phantom humanoids reinforcement learning controller put through some stability test. So they're pushing them. I don't like seeing these robots pushed from behind, because I know they're machines, but it's like, dude, come on. They got good memories. They have them. Oh, now he's kicking them with his foot. Sometimes I think these engineers, like, they're just trying to they're taking their aggression out on this robot. Because they're not doing it anywhere else. They're not doing like jujitsu or anything. So they're like, I'm gonna push this robot from behind. Some dude tripped me outside the other day and I wanted to kick his ass, but I didn't. So now I'm gonna kick this robot. Nay. So they're just testing its stability. Kick him on the buttocks. That robot got some good gait. Right there, that gait slaps. All right, that's it. That's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good week. I will see you next week.